Liverpool win a game in the Premier League. Finally. Seems like a long time since that last occurred. And now we go into a crucial week in our season. Is there any hope against PSG of a major comeback? Or is it just delusion? Is this already a foregone conclusion? Are we about to be absolutely destroyed by the reigning, defending French League and Champions League holders? Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another live stream. How are we all doing today? I hope we're all good. I know that for Liverpool fans, including myself, it's been a much better weekend than what we're used to. A bit more of a positive weekend than what we're used to. Hope we're all doing very well. Hope we're all good. Let me know how you're all doing today. Let me know where you're watching from today, even if you're just popping in just to say hi. Obviously, that is very welcome as well. But of course, if you want to stay for the football chat, then you are most welcome to. And if you want to contribute to the football chat as well, then feel free to get involved in the comment section. This is mainly a Liverpool talking live stream today that we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking back over the game against Fulham. We're going to be looking at the upcoming game against PSG and other little bits and pieces in between. But if you guys have obviously stuff that you guys want to talk about and you want to steer the conversation in a particular direction, then feel free to do so in the chat. As always, hit up the likes as well, people, and subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. Can't thank you enough for the love and support on the channel that we are getting. Really does mean the world to me from you all. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, we're going to be talking Liverpool's win against Fulham. Big win that was. We're going to be talking about the upcoming game against PSG this week. Maybe looking a little bit ahead to the Merseyside derby on at the weekend as well. Massive Merseyside derby. The first proper Merseyside derby at the Hill Dickinson Stadium to be taking place between Liverpool and Everton this upcoming weekend. So we've got a lot to focus on this week as the games tick down towards the conclusion of this Premier League season, the end of the season that can't come soon enough as far as what I'm concerned. I don't know if anybody's feeling a little different, but I cannot wait for the end of what has been a horrible, horrible season that started with a lot of hope, started with a lot of optimism, and started with a lot of wonder as to what could potentially be this year, and it is going to end in complete and utter disappointment. Fulham. We'll start with the Fulham game first. A welcome surprise. The Fulham game. I thought for the first 45 minutes, we were very, very good. We were very, very good for the opening 45 minutes. And it's basically the same old story that we say all season long when Liverpool actually do play well. In the small handful of games that Liverpool have actually played well, it's the same situation, the same common factors over and over again. Arne Slot set out in a way that played to everybody's strengths, that was played to everybody being comfortable. It was very basic. And that's not a knock. That's not a dig. That is just stating what actually happened. It was very, very basic, but at the same time, effective. Where you play everybody in a more comfortable position, everybody plays well. Who'd have thought it? Anybody and everybody that had been watching Liverpool this season. Every Liverpool fan out there has been calling for the likes of, for any and every player to basically play in their more natural, more comfortable position. And guess what? 9 times out of 10 when that happens, Liverpool play well. The difference is that this season, that's not really happened much. But when it has happened, Liverpool put in good performances like they did in the first half of the game against Fulham. Bill Goat is in the building. Lovely to have you here with us. Hope you're doing well. So when I am there and I'm seeing Frimpong on the overlap, I'm seeing Robertson helping out Rio Engamoa down the left. When I'm seeing Curtis Jones and Soboslai looking somewhat comfortable in the midfield, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. There were still some issues there. There were still some things that could have been exploited by better teams. But for the most part, it was good because everybody looked comfortable. Everybody looked good. Everybody looked comfortable. It was simplistic but effective. You're seeing Florian Wirtz just drop into pockets of space, doing nice little bits of link-up play, looking to release the likes of Salah or Engamoa down the wings or Frimpong on the overlap. It looked good. It looked effective. We actually played all right. Who would have thought it? Anybody and everybody that watched Liverpool this season. Talking about people that watched Liverpool all season, that was saying the same things as I am. Big up Dean who's in the building. I hope you're doing well, bro. Lovely to have you here with us. Says, hi, Fletch. I think we have to go for it. We are at home. We are still in this. Look at the Barca game with Liverpool at the Champions League. We can do this. And you are 100% right, Dean. You are 100% right. We'll get on to the PSG game a little later. I just want to close the book on or close the chapter on the Fulham game first. But you are 100% right in what you are saying about that PSG game. Spot on, in my opinion, as we'll get on to a little bit later. But yes, the Fulham game for the first half was great. Not amazing, not perfect, but great. And the main reason why it was great was because we looked good. We had wingers that actually wanted to take on their man. We had wingers that were somewhat more unpredictable, like Salah's link-up play. Having options around him actually benefited Salah because Salah would go one moment and then the next time he would lay the ball off. He would try and find a good pass into the likes of Wirtz or Gakpo or look at the overlap for Frimpong. Salah had options, which meant he could be effective. You looked at Engamoa on the other side. Engamoa, 17 years of age, but what you saw was a very mature performance from him, in my opinion. You saw a player that every time he got on the ball looked dangerous. He would take on his man one moment without fear. He would look to pass the ball and release the ball when he needed to. He would look to cut inside when he needed to, but he wasn't also afraid to go around the outside and try something on his left foot. That unpredictability is something that we have been lacking down that left-hand side all season long. It's why myself and why Dean and why a lot of other Liverpool fans have been crying out for Rio Engamoa to get more game time, to get more minutes, because he can't do any worse than what Cody Gakpo was doing. And like I say, that unpredictability is something that Cody Gakpo doesn't have. Gakpo is a one-trick pony, and he's not even very good at that one trick. He's not an Iron Robin who is going to cut in on that left foot of his and smash one into the top corner. He's not that guy. Robin could do that over and over again, and even though you knew what was going to happen, you still had no idea how to stop it most of the time. Gakpo, defenders are now allowing Gakpo to do that because one time in a million, that shot is going to go in from Gakpo. 1 in a million, the shot's going to go in. So defenders are now actually taking their chances on 1 in a million and basically going, go on then, cut inside, put the ball over the crossbar, and we'll get possession back. Simple as that. Engamoa, he was cutting inside one moment, he's going around the outside the next moment, he's releasing the ball back to Robertson, he's releasing the ball back to Wirtz, he's trying to do some neat little link-up plays with Wirtz and Soboslai and whoever. It was nice to see. It was so nice to see. And I really, really do hope that he is rewarded with a start against PSG. Do I think he'll start against PSG? No. I will be surprised if he did. It would be a welcome surprise if he did. And I would actually praise Arne Slot for actually rolling the dice here and going, you know what? go out there and show me what you can do. But I doubt it. I doubt it highly. I think we're going to see a bit more of a familiar lineup in the game against PSG. And I don't think Fulham were expecting it, to be honest. And this is something that I brought up in my match reaction video that I did on Saturday night. I don't think Fulham were expecting the kind of team that Liverpool put out there on Saturday. Mainly because I think they were expecting the likes of McAllister and Gravenberch to be in the midfield. That obviously didn't happen. It was Szoboszlai and Jones. I think they were expecting probably Cody Gakpo to go on the left and then one of Isak or Ekitike to be up front, more likely being Ekitike, considering Isak's only just returned from injury. So I think they were expecting a bit more of a predictable lineup. So I think it did throw Fulham off their game a little bit. But even so, Fulham didn't exploit Liverpool's weaknesses like what a lot of other teams have done this season. And because of that, I think Liverpool got off lightly. Like I said, I don't want to put too much of a downer on this because we very rarely win. And there's been very little to really shout about and praise about this Liverpool team this season. But when you look at the overall game on Saturday, Fulham barely laid a glove on Liverpool. I think Mamardashvili had one save to make in the first half. That was it. And then in the second half, Emil Smith-Rowe really should have brought Fulham back into the game. And from there, it would have been a very interesting scenario to see what would have taken place after that, because we all know that Liverpool's mentality is not the best. And especially when they face adversity, they tend to struggle. They tend to crumble in on themselves. So if Smith-Rowe had have scored, it would have been interesting to see how Liverpool would have responded to that. But he put it wide of the post. So Fulham didn't really lay a glove on us, to be perfectly honest. And part of me wants to say, well, it was how good Liverpool were. But there were times where, had the final ball been better, had the shot been better, Fulham might have caused us some damage. As it was, they didn't. We got away with it. We keep a clean sheet. We get 3 vital points in our quest for top 5. It was a very good display Saturday evening for Liverpool. In a game in which could have been a very tricky game for us, a big banana skin. We know how awkward Fulham can be. We know that on their day, Fulham can be very tough opposition. But Liverpool got away with it. And Liverpool got a massive 3 points, like I say, in the now modified goal of getting top 5 and Champions League football for next season. City did us a favour by beating Chelsea on Sunday, as predicted. Everton and Brentford drew, which is good on paper, good on the day. I also predicted them to draw in my predictions for who gets the top 5 this year. And it still ended up with them getting top 5. So we shall see on obviously how that goes. But yeah, it's a massive, massive 3 points. And like I say, it makes a massive difference when you put more trust in the squad players like a Curtis Jones, like a Rio Engamoa. When you put them in and you try something different, it can often throw off the opposition. And I think that's what happened a little bit with Fulham. I like what he did. I thought Curtis Jones was excellent in the midfield. I thought he and Engamoa are our 2 best players on the day. Salah takes his goal exceptionally well. Florian Wirtz had an okay game, a good game. There were some moments where I was a little bit frustrated with him. There were some moments where I was kind of like, oh, did you really need to do that? Did you really need to hold on to the ball for that long? Did you need to play the pass like that? There were some little moments from Wirtz where I was kind of annoyed with him, but I feel like he did have a good game overall. I feel like the only negative was Gakpo playing up front. That was the only negative for me. Like, he was absolutely useless. There was a clip going around of Salah playing this exquisite ball through the lines to Cody Gakpo, and he just kills the attack. he just kills the attack dead. Like it is like playing with 10 men when Gakpo's on the pitch sometimes. It really, really is. I mean, he had a nice layoff for the goal for Salah. Fair play, got the assist. Well done, Gakpo, for that. But at the same time, in saying that, like, it is like playing with 10 men on the pitch when you've got Gakpo on there. Because he just kills every attack. He kills every attack. And not in a good way. Like, he slows the ball down, he stands up his man, and then he just goes onto his right foot, has a shot, and 9 times out of 10, it's either blocked or it goes into Rosette. That's it. That is the story of Cody Gakpo's game every single time. Even when he's playing through the center, he likes to cut inside. Like, how are you finished, bro, at this age? And the worst part is, how do we move him on? Unless he goes back to the Netherlands, how do we move this guy on? No one's going to take him. No one's going to take this guy. But yeah, that's the only negative on the day for me. A fantastic performance in the first half. Second half was a bit dead. I feel like Ryan Gravenberch, talking about people killing the game, Ryan Gravenberch was not great. Like, this guy is so slow. Like, I still think there's a player in there, and I still think that with the right combination of midfielders around him, there could still be something to him. But right now, like, either through fatigue, exhaustion, whatever it is, or maybe he's just mentally not with it right now. He's so slow. He's so slow. Everything he does, like, he doesn't even like do that little drop of the shoulder thing anymore. I think people are so wise to it now. He doesn't do that thing where he picks the ball up from Van Dijk and he drops the shoulder and bursts into a little bit of space. Doesn't even do that anymore. The guy just picks the ball up and he looks up and he takes a touch and he takes another touch and he takes another touch and another touch. And he's not progressing with the ball. It's not like he's taking touches to actually move the ball forward. He's taking a touch to go down a wing or go into like a group of players. And then he turns back around and goes, I'm going to play it back to where I got the ball from originally. Like, not really progressing with the ball very much is Ryan Gravenberch. And when there are better passes on, or if he's got better or quicker thinking, he could move the ball on, but he doesn't. He simply doesn't, and it's poor to watch. You could definitely see the difference between having Curtis Jones in the midfield in the first half and having Ryan Gravenberch in the midfield in the second. So I do think there are issues there that need to be addressed. Dean says Liverpool versus Fulham is probably the best league game performance by Liverpool this season. I pray they will start with Rio on Tuesday. The only thing I would push back on is I would probably say the game against Newcastle was probably better. The 4-1 that we did against the 4-1 against Newcastle may have probably just been a little better than the one on Saturday. But yeah, I would say that in terms of how comfortable we were for the most part and how good we were in the first half, in terms of how natural everything looked, yeah, I would probably agree with you. And I also hope that Ngamoa starts on Tuesday. I pray that will happen. Rio's goal was delightful. It really was. I loved it so much. Receiving the ball from Wirtz. Wirtz gets another assist on the board. The little cut inside, stands up his man, works the ball onto his right, fakes to go onto his left to get that little yard of space that he needs just to bend it around the defender and into the corner. It was a brilliantly well-taken goal. I absolutely loved it, enjoyed it, and I've watched it back so many times since. I want to see more of him. I really, really want to see more of him. Big up Philly Edits. Hope you're doing well, my bro. Lovely to have you here with us. It says, yo, what's up? I'm from Philly. Big up to you and big up to Philly over there. I hope you're doing well, my bro. Welcome to this channel. Don't think I've seen you here before, so big up to you. If you have been here, by the way, my memory is terrible, so I do genuinely apologize. It says, come on, you Reds. Absolutely love that from you, my bro. But yes, massive win. Massive win. Definitely needed in terms of the Premier League. Definitely needed in terms of, Everton, Brentford drawing, Chelsea losing. We've got a firm grip on the top 5 as things stand right now. Aston Villa also dropped points to Nottingham Forest at the weekend. So that's also big in terms of closing the gap on them. We are now 3 points behind both them and Manchester United. Of course, United play tonight against Leeds, and you're probably expecting United to pick up a win, but Leeds have been awkward and tough opposition for most teams. So it could be very interesting to see if that actually does come to fruition or not. But yeah, a massive win nonetheless. And it's a massive win, not just in terms of the Premier League and everything that I mentioned, but it's a massive win in terms of going into the game against PSG. Now, the game against PSG, I don't have too high hopes on a comeback. I really, really don't. PSG are insane. PSG are exceptional right now. And even if Liverpool were to get a couple of goals back in that game, I don't necessarily have the high hopes that we could stop PSG from scoring again themselves. So, we could very well go there and get a couple of goals, or at Anfield and get a couple of goals. There's no doubt about it. I'm just not entirely convinced that we could stop PSG from scoring. Now, here's the thing. In saying that I don't think Liverpool are going to win or advance in the competition to the next round, I still want us to go out in a way that is respectable, that is admirable. And that is the way of just absolutely throwing caution to the wind and going for it. Give these guys something to think about. A lot of people will go like, you don't want to be humiliated. You don't want to go out 6 or 7-0. And there is a fair argument for that. For me, in a season that I've seen very little adventure or very little courageous acts from this manager and therefore from the team and the club, go out there and attack. Go out there and go for the jugular. Go out there and go for the throat. Like, show me something that I can at least look back on and go, you tried. You tried. Don't die with a whimper. Don't go out of this competition in a cowardly, feeling sorry for yourself kind of fashion. Go out there and go for it. That's what I want from Liverpool on Tuesday night. I want an adventurous lineup. I want a fun lineup. I want to see good football. I want to see us press. I want to see us just give PSG a very tough time. That basically says, you're going to go through, but we're going to make you earn the right to go through in 90 minutes. That's what I want from Liverpool. That's what I want from us. I want to see us running at them defenders. I want to see us looking to open them up. I want to see us just throw all caution to the wind. I want to see us, have Mamadashvili in goal, Frimpong on the right, Kirkez left, Van Dijk and Konate in the heart of the defence. I want to see us have Soboslai and McAllister in the middle of the pitch. I want to see us have Salah on the right. I want Engamoa on the left. And then I want either Wirtz and Isak, or I want Ekatike and Isak. I want a combination of them two. Isak, Ekatike, Isak, Wirtz, Ekatike, Wirtz, whatever. I want a combination of them two up top. That's what I want. I just want us to throw caution to the wind on this. Go out there, attack, leave nothing on the pitch, because this is last chance saloon now. This is the last chance saloon for not only trophies, but salvaging something from this season. Top 5 for me isn't good enough. Isn't good enough. It's a extremely minor consolation prize in what has been a dreadful season so far. So go out there and go for it. Just go for it. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. I want to see adventure. I want to see courage. I want to see something different that we've not seen this season. And then I can come on the stream in the aftermath of the game and I can go, predictably, Liverpool exited the competition. But at least I was happy with the way that we did. Because as we've said all along, people, we've said this all season, there's nothing wrong with losing a game of football if you lose it in the right or correct way. And that's by just going for it. Not cowering away, not going out with a whimper, not putting up much of a fight, not rolling over for the opposition, simply going for it. Look at the way that Chelsea lost to Man City yesterday. Now, I know a lot of Chelsea fans are probably happy with the way that they lost to Man City yesterday because it obviously helps City and hinders Arsenal. A lot of Chelsea fans probably would have blown off yesterday as we lost, but you know what? I don't mind losing this particular game. The way they lost, though, put up a bit of a fight in the first half, and then City absolutely steamrolled them in the second. There's a way to lose. There's a way to get knocked out of competitions. And I just hope that Liverpool make that choice and do that for tomorrow night's game. I'm hoping and I'm praying that that is the case. I think Liverpool could lose on penalties again. I don't think I could go through that. I don't think my health or my heart could take that again. I don't think I could do that again, bro. It was insane last year. And they don't have Donnarumma in goal this year. So, you know, maybe we might actually stand a better chance this year. Maybe we might stand a better chance this year if that was to happen. But like I say, I'm not feeling massively confident because we could get 2 goals. We could get 2 goals. But I don't think we'd stop PSG from scoring themselves. I think PSG are insane. And we saw how insane they were in the first leg. And people will go, oh, it was only 2-0. But if you actually watch the game, Dembele could have had 2 to 3 goals in that game. They created a number of other chances as well. Like, they should have put the game to bed in the first leg. They should have been 4 or 5 goals up, at least. Slot will have something to say about PSG if they get through. Yeah, but he's also had something to say about PSG ever since we lost to them last year. So, you know for a fact that that is going to happen. His PTSD is going to kick in massively again. So yeah, he's gonna suffer a lot. He is gonna suffer a lot with PTSD from PSG. It's just the way Slot is. Do you want to know what the maddening thing about this season's been, and what the maddening thing about Saturday was? I watched Arsenal on Saturday play against Bournemouth and flop miserably. I've watched Arsenal a lot this season, and as much as they have been the best team in the league so far, clearly stated by their position at the top of the table, Arsenal haven't been amazing this year. I don't think nobody's really been amazing. There's not one team that's sat there and blown away the competition. I firmly believe that if Arne Slot had a couple of brain cells about him from the beginning of this season, we could still be in the title race at this stage if Slot had just used his brain a bit more. Like, we could still either be in the title race, we could be top of the table, we could be second, a few points behind Arsenal, whatever the case may be. We could have still been in and amongst that realm of possibility had it not been for how Slot has seriously sabotaged this season. We could probably be in other competitions as well. We might have got further in the Carabao Cup. We may still be in the FA Cup. We might even not be on the verge of getting knocked out of the Champions League by PSG. We could actually be in a good position to actually qualify for the semi-finals of the Champions League. But instead, here we are, the middle of April. Season is just about to end completely. The only thing that we'll have left to fight for is top 4, top 5. And even then, it's a bit hit and miss. Depends what Liverpool team does turn up. Like, that's the frustrating thing about it. If Arne Slot had a brain cell or two in that bald-headed face of his, we may have actually put up more of a fight this year. Instead, we've fallen so far down. We've fallen even behind Manchester United. We've fallen behind Aston Villa. Like, what? It's so annoying. It's so annoying because you're seeing it with Arsenal right now. I still think they'll go on and win the league. But the first signs of real pressure applying to Arsenal, and they crumble against Bournemouth. You look at their squad and you're like, they are tiring. Their squad is tiring. There are issues that are seemingly growing at Arsenal right now. And whilst, City look to be shifting through the gears right now, we'll see if that lasts. Like, Liverpool could have been there. Liverpool could have been there to apply even more pressure to Arsenal to maybe retain the Premier League title, something I've not seen in my lifetime. It's so annoying, like watching City not be at their best, Arsenal be top of the table, but still there are question marks over certain aspects of their team. And yet there's us, who spent 450 odd million in the summer, going into the new season with a lot of hope, excitement, and optimism as the defending Premier League champions, and defending it with a whimper. With a whimper. Like, it's so annoying. It's so goddamn annoying. Because we should be better than this. We should have done better than this. It's god awful. It's god awful. But that's what you get. And like I say, that's what we saw. That's what we've seen and saw throughout this campaign. That's what we've seen throughout this campaign. And look, who knows what the future will hold. Andy Robertson's leaving along with Mo Salah at the end of the season, and good luck to Andy Robertson. Deserves a massive send-off as well as what Mo Salah does. I don't know what that means for Liverpool going forward. I don't know if that means that we're going to be looking for a new left-back in the summer, or whether it means that Kostas Tsimikas is going to be returning and being the backup to Kirkez. I don't know. Mo Salah leaving leaves a massive void as it is. I don't know who's going to come in to replace him. But at the same time, in saying all of that, there are also other issues, other people that we've got no idea about. Is Richard Hughes staying? Is Michael Edwards leaving? What about the hierarchy? What's their perspective on things going forward? What are they going to be looking to do in the summer? Is Arne Slot staying? Is Arne Slot leaving? These are the questions that we need to know ASAP for Liverpool to get some clarity to begin preparations for next season. I'm hoping he goes still. Like, Saturday doesn't change anything. Saturday, like I say, Saturday, if anything, makes me more annoyed at him. It makes me more annoyed at him. Because everything that he did on Saturday somewhat worked. I still don't understand the substitution that he made in taking off Wirtz and putting Isak on when you also took off Engamoa at the same time, because all your creativity then was coming from one man in Mo Salah. Like, you basically sent Isak out there just to run around a bit. Like, that's it. That's all you had Isak do, was just run around a bit, because you took off our only creative sparks in the team. I don't get what you did with that. But for the most part, like I say, everything that he did pretty much paid off on Saturday. And it all came down to the basics. It all came down to doing the basics, which was put everybody in a natural position, put everybody in a role and in a position where they're comfortable with, and watch how the team gets better. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? Anybody and everybody that's watched Liverpool for God knows how long. But yet, apparently it was too difficult for him to respond and register. But as I also said on Saturday night, we have seen this time and time again. We have seen this happen time and time again, where Slot has done something right, something correct, just to save his skin. He has done something right and something correct just to save him. He's gone against his wishes. He's gone against his word. He's gone against what he believes in, the way that he wants to play, the way that he wants to set up, whatever the case may be. He has gone against everything that he holds dear to him, just to get a result. And every time he goes against what he does or what he wants to do, Liverpool tend to do well. They perform better, they get a win, whatever the case may be. So that's why I fear against PSG, it's revert back to type. That's why I fear against Everton at the weekend, it's revert back to type. Engamo was benched. Jones is obviously injured. McAllister and Gravenberch back in the midfield. Szoboszlai will play either in Wirtz's role, or he may actually take McAllister out to accommodate for Gravenberch and Szoboszlai in the midfield, because God forbid he drop Gravenberch unless it was to rest him for PSG. He'll put Gakpo back on the left. It will basically be how it's been for most of this season. Because every time we do good, the next game or a game or a couple of games time, he goes back to how it used to be. And it never works. And that's why we've never had any consistency. And that's why whenever we have had good results this year, it's been met with, I am so happy we won, but I know what's on the horizon. I know what's around the corner. I know what's going to happen next. Because Liverpool have been predictable. Very predictable. All season long. Predictable. All season long. Ridiculous. It's squeaky bum time if Kostas comes back. It's going to be interesting to see if that actually does happen, you know. It's going to be very interesting to see if that genuinely does happen. What the plan is with Kostas going forward. Big up, Fletch. Big up, mate. Big up, bro. Hope you're doing well. Glad that you're with us today. We'd love to get your takes on what is happening with Liverpool right now. Do you think a comeback is on for this week? I'd love to know what you're thinking and feeling going forward. Massive, massive week for Liverpool Football Club here. Massive week. It's going to be interesting to see. Very interesting. I don't know. I say I've not got much hope for this week, but in saying that, I still think there is a way to go about business and a way to go about go about this game coming up against PSG, and that is just to throw caution to the wind, give PSG something to think about, and go out on your sword. Go out on the attack. Go out there on the attack. I don't want to be sat here Wednesday morning and saying Liverpool didn't do anything last night. Liverpool crumbled easily. Didn't handle the occasion. Didn't even put up a fight against PSG. I want to be saying that, you know what? We gave it everything and it wasn't enough because PSG are just simply better than us. There's nothing wrong with saying that. But I just don't want them to have an easy ride whatsoever. A comeback in a way, maybe a goal or two, but I think PSG will probably get at least one. Yeah, this is what we've been saying, bro. We've been saying it earlier in the stream that Liverpool have the capabilities to get 1 or 2 goals against PSG. PSG are insane. Don't get me wrong. Like, they are insane going forward. The rotations that they do are mesmerizing at times. Their communication and their intellect is phenomenal. It's almost like it's telepathic at times. Like, Hakimi could start at right back and he ends up as a left winger. And it's almost like Doué then goes, right, he's over there, which means I'll drop into midfield a little bit. João Neves then goes to right back. Kvaratskhelia goes out towards the right. Ousmane Dembele drops deeper so that Doué can then run forward. It's it's mesmerizing at times. Like the rotations, the way that they work, the way that they're in constant communication with each other is insane. The way that they can just pop up in random places on the pitch, like you can't man mark that, which baffled me so much when Slot tried it in the first leg. How are you supposed to man mark the constant rotations? Just let them do their thing. Just let them do their thing. Stand off them and let them rotate. Let them run into different positions to try and confuse the opposition, whatever. It's so difficult. That's why I love the way that Luis Enrique plays. It's so mesmerizing. But at the same time, in saying that, like I say, their defense is not impenetrable. They can be gotten at. Like, they can be gotten at. They can concede chances. And we just need to take them when they fall. Because we're not going to get many. But the ones that we do get are probably going to be good ones. If we do get any at all. So we need to take them. And I think that we can. I feel like we have the finishes to do so. If Salah's firing on all cylinders, if Isak's there, there is obviously a good chance that, you know, he could be on point. Ekatike, we know that he's not exactly been performing great in the past couple of months, but if he can rediscover his form in the early stages of the season, towards the midway stage of the season, then Ekatike is a good finisher. Ngamoa, maybe, if he's there. Doubt it, but maybe. Wirtz, we know how good he can be on his day. We all know that these guys can be very good on their day. They can take their chances. But it's like you said, and it's like we said earlier, the problem that I've got is that whilst I think we could take our chances, I know PSG can take theirs. And I know that they didn't take enough of them last week because they should have beaten us by 4, 5, maybe even 6 goals. But if they are in the mood, if they are not playing around with their dinner, they very much could put us to the sword. They very much could absolutely wipe the floor with us. And if that's the case, we best go down swinging. We best make it like a 4-2 or a 4-3 or a 5-3, 5-4 kind of game. I want us to go toe-to-toe and just see if we can go blow for blow with them. Like, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see us die out of this competition with a whimper. I want to see us go for it. It was a good first half against Fulham, but as soon as Jones went off, it dulled, and I don't see Ryan or Mac having an impact. Maybe Mac, but he's not really being picked on form. By that logic, no one should be picked on form. No, I get what you're saying. You're right, though. The difference between Jones and Gravenberch, particularly in that game, it was night and day. It was night and day, the difference between those two. Jones was brilliant. I thought Jones was probably our second best player on the pitch overall in that game. Ngamoa was first, obviously. I thought Jones was really, really good in that midfield. And again, the reason why Jones was good is because he does something that none of our other midfielders tend to necessarily do. McAllister can do it, but McAllister hasn't been doing it. Jones can advance with the ball. Sometimes he holds on for it for too long, but here's what happens when you give Jones the ball. Jones gets the ball, and he's good at turning, and he's good at dribbling. And he moves the ball forward. Gravenberch can't do that unless he does that little drop of the shoulder thing I was talking about earlier. You know, where he receives the ball, he drops the shoulder and he bursts into space. If he can't do that, he's got nothing. Because he can't, his passing's not amazing. And like I say, his progression of the ball is unless there is like a clear ocean of space available to him, like there is very little that Gravenberch will do in terms of progressing the ball. So there's very little in terms of that. I'm so annoyed that Jones isn't available for this game. I think his injury takes him out of this game. So fortunately, we'll have no Jones for this game. It probably means Gravenberch does go back into the midfield. I would start with a midfield of Szoboszlai and McAllister, but that's just me. Gravenberch, for me, needs to be on the bench. But that's not going to happen. And yeah, I'm just annoyed. I'm just so annoyed that Jones isn't going to be available for this game. Their goalie is proper shite, so we have to get at him as often as we can. I mean, he didn't fill me with great confidence in the game in the first leg. There were a couple of decent crosses from the likes of Szoboszlai in which he dealt with, but I felt like we could have put him under a bit more pressure as the game progressed. And unfortunately, we just never did. So I'm hoping that our set pieces are on form in this game coming up. I hope that, we can maybe put him under a bit of pressure, take a few more risks, put the ball in the box a little bit more. And here's the kicker as well. I would start with Ekitike and Isak. I would start with both of them up front. May sound risky, may sound a bit suicidal, but just give PSG something to think about. Just give PSG something different to think about. How many teams probably go that bold against them? It might catch them off guard a little bit, especially with someone like Ekitike, because his mobility is so good that his work rate will probably allow him to drop as our fifth midfielder anyway. So out of possession, fifth midfielder. In possession, two up top. Like, I feel like in my head it works. It probably is mad and it's probably like you're taking a massive risk and a big gamble. But I would start them both. I really, really would. I'd start them both and see where we go. The only reason why I think he might not start with both is I think obviously Florian Wirtz probably does start instead of Isak. And B, there's always the possibility, however unlikely it may be, that the game goes into extra time and penalties. And again, that's the case. Isak will play a lot more minutes than probably what Slot wants him to right now. I don't know. But yeah, I'm hoping he doesn't leave substitutions for too long. I'm hoping that, he makes the right calls. And then I won't really have a lot to shout at him for in the reaction afterwards. We shall see. By the way, I don't think Jones is the better player. It's just he's the best of a bad bunch. He brings something to the table that the others don't, though, like I say. He brings something to the table that the others don't. He's actually someone who doesn't mind getting on the ball and progressing with it. And he's got good technical ability that he can actually do that. Like, McAllister, as good as what he is, he's not really a ball carrier. Gravenberch, he can ball carry, but he doesn't really do it as often as you would like. And especially from the role that he's in, it's crazy if he does. But he doesn't really do it. And again, his confidence seems to be shot to pieces. Not only that, but his passing's not amazing. So having someone like Jones who can progress the ball, carry the team up the pitch a little bit, I think is a much worthy asset to have. The only problem is that sometimes he can hold on to the ball for a little longer than what he should. And that's a problem. He needs to sort that out of his game. But we've been saying that for years. If it isn't going to change now, it probably will never change. He's probably going to be one of these players that's going to be so frustrating. Because when he acts on instinct, he's very, very good. But sometimes he'll hold on to the ball for too long. Sometimes he should make a pass. He holds onto the ball. He makes the wrong pass. He makes the execution wrong in the pass, whatever the case may be. Sometimes he can be the most frustrating player on that pitch. But at the same time, in saying that, I also think he's got qualities that we lack, which makes him a worthy asset to have. There's too much talk of the board being on Slot's side. What's your thoughts on him being here, first game next season? Do you think they will stick with him? They have no mercy for the fans at the moment. There is a worrying amount of noise coming out that Slot will be here going into next season. But there are also conflicting reports out there stating that Alonso's ready to take over. Slot may step down at the end of the season himself. I don't know what to believe completely right now. He should not be here at the beginning of next season, regardless of what happens. I think the only way that I can somewhat justify him staying is if he wins the Champions League. That is the only logical reason I can give him for staying next season. The problem is that I don't think he will win the Champions League for next season, so it's kind of a nothing point. You can't spend 450 odd million as defending Premier League champions and make fifth without challenging for the league. There has been no challenge this year. We got knocked out of the Carabao Cup in the fourth round after throwing it away. We got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. We're about to get knocked out of the quarterfinals of the Champions League. This has been a disaster. This has been a train wreck of a campaign. There is no coming back from it. There is no justifying it. Slot should go at the end of the season because they're not going to sack him now. So I might as well say the end of the season. He should have gone a long time ago. Of course he should. But at the end of the season, he should go. Whether it's by his own accord or whether the club boot him out, he should go. Now, the club aren't going to state whilst the season's ongoing that his job is at risk. They're not going to come out and say, like, we're looking at options of replacing him, but we're keeping him here for now. They're, of course, going to say that he has their full backing. The bits that make me think that that he doesn't have their full backing, Exhibit A, they gave him no money and nothing in the January window. The January window was a perfect opportunity for Liverpool to get back on point, and they gave him nothing to play around with in that window. Yes, we signed Jeremy Jacquet in the summer, but that will obviously take place in the summer and not for the immediate future. And Exhibit B, all contract discussions with Slot ceased when things were going badly. If he really had the full backing of the Liverpool hierarchy, Why did he not get a new deal there and then? Why did he not get the full backing there and then to get a new deal? That's the bit that kind of sticks to me, is there may be an element of truth behind him leaving at the end of the season and us potentially getting Xabi Alonso. Now, I think if we get Alonso, that would be perfect. It would be amazing. And I feel like it really could reignite something in the Liverpool squad, the Liverpool fan base, bridge the gap that has been getting wider and wider, dividing the fans and the fan base. Sorry, the fan base and the club. I think Alonso would be a very, very good opportunistic appointment as our new manager / head coach. Keeping Slot, how are we supposed to go into next season with any sort of excitement and optimism if Slot is still in charge? How are we? Because we went into this season with a lot of hope and optimism because we were the defending Premier League champions. Everything seemed like it was sunshine and rainbows. And we spent 450 odd million on quality win now players. If we go into this summer, let's say we do get Champions League football, let's say he stays. I'm not going to be as excited seeing new signings walk through the door at Anfield as I was last season. Because I'll be like, oh, great, we signed this player. Let's say, for argument's sake, we signed Adam Wharton. I'm not going to be there going, wow, Adam Wharton, amazing, fantastic. We're now going to win the league. We're now going to win this. We're now going to win the other. Because I said that last year when we signed Wirtz. I said it last year when we signed Isak, Frimpong, Kirkes. Said it all last season. And look where we are now. Because this manager has, as I mentioned earlier, completely sabotaged the season. So if I see Adam Wharton walk through the door, I'll be like, this is an incredible signing. This is exactly what we need. But in terms of ambitions for what we're going to do this year, there are still massive question marks over whether the manager's going to use him correctly, whether or not the manager's going to use him in his more comfortable, more familiar role. There are question marks over the manager more so than the players. That's why I'm concerned. But like I say, there are some things that are making me think that Slot will leave at the end of the season. And there are some things that are making me think he actually could stay. I think he leaves. But that element of doubt in my mind is playing on me massively. Massively. Big up Marco's in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. I hope you're doing well. It says City looked terrifyingly good against Chelsea. Yes, they look good in the second half. I would like to point out, though, Chelsea are terrible. So, yeah, there's a bit of column A and a bit of column B in there. But yes, City did look good. And it sets up beautifully for next weekend. This upcoming weekend, Arsenal City, it sets it up so beautifully. If Arsenal can get away with a point at least, I feel like it might be enough to stop City's charge for them. I feel like if Arsenal can get away with a point, it might be all right for Arsenal. But if City win, which at this moment in time, I'm leaning more towards, City will win the league. It's on a knife edge. It is very much on a knife edge. With Arsenal, if defenders like Saliba or Gabriel score, it's from a set piece. With City, Gahey actually scores from a combination link-up play skills. I think it was from a corner that kind of was it a short corner? I feel like it was a short corner that Gahey scored from. Either way, then it was worked around the box through by Shirky. Shirky is coming into form in the best possible time. At the best possible time, Ryan Shirky is coming into incredible form. So hopefully, long may it continue as far as what City are concerned. But yes, again, that annoys me and frustrates me more so. We could have got Mark Gahey. Decided not to. Didn't see it as a marketable opportunity. Absolute BS. Ridiculous of the highest order. We are morons. We are idiots. To hell with this board. To hell with the club. For making such a stupid decision. Big up Darsh Shannon's in the building. Hope you're doing well, my bro. Lovely to have you here with us. We were just talking about Liverpool, bro. We're just talking about Liverpool and a mixture of the game against Fulham, the game against PSG coming up tomorrow night, and a little bit of everything else in between. But like I say, if you've got any other footballing topics that you want to throw into the discussion, feel free to hit up the chat, bro. Always lovely to have you here, though. City have been awesome for a few games now, and I don't see them stopping when they know they have to win. I hope you're right, dude. I hope you're right. But I said the exact same thing earlier on in the season, and then they drew to Forest. Then they drew to West Ham, and I think they drew or lost to another team. I think they lost to Man United as well. Maybe not necessarily in that order, but that's what happened earlier on in the season when I said the exact same thing that you're saying right now. City flopped at a massive, crucial moment. And now they've got another chance. But this is their last chance. This is their last chance to capitalise on an Arsenal team that, in my opinion, look nervy, look shaken, and overall look tired. They look tired. You saw it against Bournemouth. They look tired. This is a perfect opportunity for City to take advantage. But this is their last chance. They slip up from here, it's gone. If they lose their game in hand, if they drop points in the game against Arsenal at the weekend, gone. I think it's gone. You ever watched IPL? No, can't say I have, bro. Can't say I have, unfortunately. Arsenal are doing nothing new. All Arsenal are doing is copying what Wimbledon did in the 90s. Arsenal are just a clinical version of Wimbledon, is what Bush Baptist said here. Very, very big breakdown here. Look, I mentioned it earlier. Arsenal are top of the league on merit. There's no doubt about it. They're top of the league on merit. They may not be the most attractive team to watch. They may not be the best team to watch, but they are effective and efficient. And that is something that has been lacking from Arsenal these past few years, which is why they've ultimately came second in the last 3 seasons up until this point so far. They are a team that gets the job done when it matters most. But right now, there's doubts creeping in. There's a bit of nervousness. There's a bit of a sense of a collapse. Now, whether or not that was just a bad day at the office, a blip, whatever the case may be, only time will tell. But losing in the Carabao Cup final, losing in the FA Cup, struggling against Sporting in the Champions League, winning, but still struggling, and now losing to Bournemouth. 4 games, 4 different competitions. I know they're not the Premier League, but in all 4 of those competitions, they have given other teams hope. They've given other teams life that they can be stopped. They can be beaten in a one-off game, and in City's case, they can be beaten overall to a Premier League title. Because in all four of those games, it's about momentum. It's about momentum. And a lot of people overlook momentum. A lot of people don't necessarily see momentum as being a big factor in football. But let me tell you, it is a big factor. It is a big, big factor, momentum. Because as a Liverpool fan, I've seen it myself. Liverpool tend to do well when we play 2 games a week in comparison to only 1 game a week. When we're playing 2 games a week, where it's game after game after game after game, it's simply a case of we're running off momentum. We're running on adrenaline. When we play game, week off, game, week off, game, sometimes we struggle to get moving again. Sometimes we struggle to hit the ground running, so to speak, in games like that. So for Arsenal, they've lost their way over the course of the past few games. For Arsenal, they've lost a bit of momentum. For Arsenal, there are worrying times. But those worrying times can be simply put to rest if they manage to get something over City at the weekend. It's a massive ask. It's a big situation that they find themselves in. And this is going to really prove whether or not Arsenal have come a long way or not, because this game is going to be a huge deal in terms of Arsenal's mental capacity, their mental stability. And their mentality overall. But if they don't get the win that they need, or they don't get a draw that they need, if they don't stop or in some way halt City's momentum, they're going to struggle. Because what we've seen from City now is a City side that look up for it. A City side that are looking solid enough defensively. Mark Gahey's come in and has tightened up things defensively. Not perfectly. There's still some gaps there. There's still some things to exploit. But Mark Gahey's been a fantastic addition to reinforce that defense. In midfield, like I say, Ryan Cherki has come in and is starting to find his feet. He's starting to show what he can do. Who's the other player? Nico O'Reilly. I'm going to say Nico O'Reilly. Hopefully the injury to Nico O'Reilly is not as bad as first feared, but it didn't look great. Nico O'Reilly has been vital to City these past few months. He's come on leaps and bounds. That kid is a star. He is an absolute star. But his injury could not have come at a worse time. Hopefully it's nothing major. I don't know if anything's been said about it. I mean, some people are saying it's not as serious as what was first feared, but obviously only time will tell. Hopefully it's not. But Nico O'Reilly has been absolutely superb these past few months. Semenyo's come in and has been a danger. Even Haaland, who has not been contributing in terms of goals, has been contributing in other areas. And that is nice to see that his overall game, not just his goals, is really coming into full effect. And because of that, you are seeing a more well-rounded City team. Not perfect, again, not outstanding by any stretch of the imagination, but you're seeing a much more well-rounded Man City team. And that, for me, is dangerous and scary signs for Arsenal ahead. Klopp chanting Arnie Slot has brought Arnie a lot of credit. I mean, he was always going to do that with whatever manager came in. Klopp is just like that. He's just outstanding. Shirky is what Marcus says here. It's so fun to watch Lee Judges these days. He said he doesn't have it in him to do this again next season if they don't get it in this year. For real, selling a season ticket then. I mean, again, we talk about City's last chance saloon. We talk about Liverpool's last chance saloon. This is last chance saloon for Arteta. If Arteta doesn't win the league this year, he's toast. He's toast. He is a failure. Like, remember when all those years ago, a certain Jose Mourinho would call Arsene Wenger a specialist in failure? Well, Mikel Arteta will be a specialist in failure. The first season that they challenged, they were 8 points clear with about 5 games to go or whatever it was. They bottled it. The second year, all right, they lost to Arsenal by a point. But even so, not necessarily a bottle job that year, but they just couldn't make it count when it mattered most. The third year, they lost to Liverpool. A Liverpool side who nobody was expecting to be even in a title challenge. Not many people were expecting them to title challenge. I personally was. I didn't expect them to win it. I expected them to title challenge because I thought, well, City are probably going to either get a 5-peat or Arsenal, this is finally going to be their year. Arsenal fell off. Still managed to finish second, but they fell off in terms of their aggression. They fell off in terms of their points tally and everything like that. They fell off in that regard, and Liverpool won the title by simply dancing to the finish line. And this year, top for what? 95% of the season, probably. I don't know. I'm just making up a percentage. 90% of the season. I don't even know. Top for the majority. We'll go with the majority. I don't want to really put a percentage on it after doing that. Top for the majority of the season. Top at Christmas. I think they were top at Christmas. Were they top at Christmas or top at New Year? One, if not both of them. I don't remember. Either way, they were top at certain stages of the season. Big points tallies, opportunities to stretch their points difference over City to a decent amount. And every single time they faltered, they stuttered. And they might get away with it. They might get away with it because City might let them off the hook. They've done so a couple of times in the past. They might do it again. If City do that, Arsenal get across the finish line. But if they don't, Arteta needs to go at the end of the season. There's no way back from this. There's no more excuses. There's nowhere to hide. Arteta has to come out, face the music, and say, I have taken this team as far as what I can do. I can't take them any further. And then leave. Lee Judges is right. How can Arsenal fans go through this again next year without something changing? And I'm not saying bring in a new winger. I'm not saying bring in a new striker. I'm not even saying bring in a new playmaker or something along those lines. You can't play this brand of football again and get away with it. Because as I mentioned earlier, Arsenal, stylistically, are not that great. Which is why it brought me on to my point about if Liverpool had actually been better this year, if Arnie Ten Hag had actually used his brain a bit more this year, we might still be in a title race. Liverpool might still be, because Arsenal are not that amazing. But yet they are head and shoulders above the rest because they've managed to grind out results and be the most consistent of the inconsistent teams. Their efficiency has been excellent. Them stylistically have not really. Simple as that. West Ham away can be tricky for Arsenal. West Ham might not be fully safe, but will be fully motivated. I mean, after watching Tottenham, West Ham might be safe. But you are right. There are some tricky games coming up for Arsenal. Obviously, they've got Man City coming up. That is next. That is this week, of course. Then they've got Newcastle at home, Fulham at home. So those 3 games, City, Newcastle, Fulham, they're tricky games. No one should be taking any of them for granted. West Ham could be safe by that point. And in which case, if they are, they might be playing for pride. They might be playing to stop Arsenal from winning the league. So might not exactly be a foregone conclusion that game, but you never know. And then on the final day of the season, they play Burnley. Oh, no, sorry. The penultimate game of the season, they play Burnley. And the final game of the season, they play Palace. Now, the Burnley game, Burnley will already be relegated, so that should be an easy win for Arsenal. The Palace game, again, Palace on their day can be awkward, but Palace may also have depending on where they are in that competition, they may also have a Europa Conference League game final on the horizon, depending on when when that Conference League final is, because sometimes they do play them before the end of the season. So depending on when that game is, it could be the end of the season, could be just before. I'm not 100% sure when, but either way, that could obviously be a factor to consider, in which case Palace won't be playing their full strength squad out. They probably won't even be, focused completely on that game. They'll probably be focused on the final, which might help Arsenal win that game. So you never know. You never know. As much as we had a good performance against Fulham, I can't see that we are winning it unless we pulled an Istanbul win or the Barca win. Big up, Kinsman. Hope you're doing well, my bro. Lovely to have you here with us. You're kind of in the same boat as what we are. Like, we're hoping for a better performance, but we haven't exactly got too high hopes of us going through. We're hoping for a better performance. We're hoping that maybe we can get a couple of goals just to make things a bit interesting. But none of us are really thinking that we're going to be able to keep PSG out of the back of our net for 90 minutes. So you're kind of in the same boat as us, bro. But obviously good to have you here with us, and thank you for contributing. I want him to sign a 10-year extension. It will be like Groundhog Day. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if at the end of the season Arsenal come out and go, we're going to give him another couple of years to try and get us over the finish line? Because every single year we seemingly get closer and closer. Oh, dear, man. I think Arsenal is a conversation that needs to be looked at a bit more. I really, really do. Their team frustrates me because on paper their team should be good. On paper their team should be good, but it's not. It's not that great. Like, okay, David Raya is a great goalkeeper. Great goalkeeper. Wasn't great on Saturday, but he's a great goalkeeper. Gabriel's a fantastic defender. Gabriel is insane. Declan Rice is insane. Declan Rice is phenomenal. Outside of that, I can't think of too many players that are great at Arsenal right now. There's them three. That's it. Timber's okay. Saliba's okay. Whoever they play at left back is meh. Like, if it's Calafiori, I think Calafiori's better going forward than he is defensively. I think Calafiori's got great finishing, but other than that, not great. Zubimendi, I rated him at Sociedad. I thought he was brilliant there. And then he's come over to the Premier League and he is hit and miss. Eze, here's the kicker for me. I look at Saka, Martinelli, Eze, Gyökeres. That four in particular, I look at them and I go, on paper, that should be one of the most creative, versatile, interchangeable front fours that you can get. And you've made that attack blunt. How have you made that what should be a razor-sharp attack that blunt? How? How have you made that razor-sharp attack that blunt? Odegaard, useless. Madueke, I still don't understand the signing of Noni Madueke. It baffles me still to this day. Leandro Trossard is, again, another player that goes hot and cold here and there. But you've ruined Saka now with his injuries. I don't think Saka is going to... I don't... Here's the thing. I think Saka could get back to the form that he showed maybe a year or two ago. I don't think Saka is anywhere near where he should be right now. And I think that's down to the management and the coaching of Mikel Arteta. Martinelli, I loved Martinelli when he first came to Arsenal. I absolutely loved and adored Martinelli. I thought this kid was going to go far. The guy is now useless. The guy is now useless. I watch him and I'm like, take on your man. Do something. When you first came to this country, you were fearless. When you first came to Arsenal, you would take on your man. You would cut inside. You'd go on the outside. You would be fearless. And yet now, he is a shadow of his former self. And I think, again, that is down to the coaching. Eze, fantastic signing when it was made. It was smart. It was logical if you played him as a number 10. But when he plays out on the wing. He plays on the left-hand side. And that's only when he plays. Like, sometimes he doesn't start. Sometimes he just doesn't start. Sometimes he's on the bench. He's in and out of the team inconsistently. Why? Eze's brilliant. Eze's amazing. And yet this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing with him. This manager has no idea what the hell he is doing with Eberechi Eze. It's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. Like, I simply put, do not get it whatsoever. Simply put, I do not get it whatsoever with Eze. Gyökeres, look, Gyökeres has been a bit hit and miss. I think he's not getting enough service, which is baffling considering the creativity that he should have behind him for the most part. He's not getting enough service, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's so weird. So weird. If they are dancing now in training in 10 years, they will be playing past the parcel in training. Yeah, you kind of want to see. Mikel Arteta is he's the definition of what's the best way to phrase this? He's something that you shouldn't really watch because it's just gonna leave you confused or baffle you. It's like watching Dynamo, right? It's like watching a crap version of Dynamo or any kind of magician. You watch him because you don't know what he's going to do next. But at the same time, in watching him and not knowing what he's going to do next, it will leave you baffled, but not in a good way. Not in a way that's like, oh my God, how did he do that? Instead, it's, oh my God, why did he do that? Remember All or Nothing? Blasting out You'll Never Walk Alone in training? Or squeezing a lemon? Or something about a light bulb? Like, it's weird to me. It's so weird to me, this guy. Big up Jay who's in the building. How you doing, big bro? You good? Hope you're all right, my man. Go and subscribe to Jordan's channel, guys. Doing some incredible stuff over there. Please do go and show him some love and some support. You should have. We should have got Eze. We know what we will do with Eze. Look, it would have been a great acquisition, but I don't know where he would have fit in. I don't know where he would have fit in, especially with us buying Verts as well. Like, you can play him, like I say, you can play him off the left-hand side, but I think he's better through the middle. I think he is much better through the middle than he is on the left. So, yeah, I could see, I could have seen that, but I don't necessarily think that would have been the best and wisest of choices from us. We should have got Gyökeres as well. He could have got us some goals. No. No. The fact of the matter is he would be suffering with even less service at Liverpool than he would with Arsenal right now. He would be suffering with less service, which is incredible to think about when you think about it. So much in football is leading away from football in training. It's like when Slot first came, we had the boxing with the oversized gloves. It looks like a Benny Hill show. I mean, I'm all for managers having different ways of getting through to players, training methods, whatever the case may be. The innovation has to be there because footballers will get bored. And footballers definitely will get bored of being told the same things or doing the same things over and over again. There has to be a level of innovation. There has to be a level of being different, standing out, and changing things for the better. But if you don't nail down the basics first and foremost, what's the point? What is the point? Like you need to nail down the basics first, and then you can maybe go on to those kind of unique, different, and random things. Because if you've not won anything and you're bringing light bulbs and lemon slices and whatever else into the changing room, and especially to maybe not necessarily this Arsenal team, but imagine if like Arteta walked into the changing room at like say prime Barcelona, a group of serial winners that have won everything on like an international level or a domestic level or a European level or whatever it may be. If he walked into that dressing room and did the light bulb stuff and did the lemon stuff, like they're going to look at him like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm Andres Iniesta. I've won everything that there is to win. Like, I'm Xavi Hernandez. I've won everything that there is to win. Like, I'm Carlos Puyol. I'm one of the greatest defenders of all time. Like, what are you talking about? I'm Lionel Messi. I'm in the prime of my career and I am firing on all cylinders. I'm about to go and perform in one of the greatest ever seasons ever. I'm about to go and break millions of records. I'm about to go and win everything and be considered the GOAT of football. Like, it can happen if you go into a side that looks up to you as someone that is great, someone that knows the club, as Arteta did with this young squad. They're going to look at him like, okay, I can see where maybe you're coming from here. That's why I think Aubameyang and Özil left, because I think they were looking at this guy going, what the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about, you absolute muppet? Because guess what? Özil has won a lot in his career. Aubameyang, not maybe a great deal more, but you know, it's Aubameyang. He was still a shining light for Arsenal when they weren't playing very well. So they're looking at him like, well, what are you talking about? I don't get it. But that's just me. That's just my take on it all. Anyway, we've rambled on. Onwards and upwards to PSG tomorrow night. I'm going. Should I be optimistic or should I be pessimistic? I'm going 3-1 PSG. 3-1 PSG? 2-1 PSG. No, I'm going 3-1 PSG. And I think the only reason why 3-1 is because I think we get an early goal. I'm going to say that we get an early goal to make things interesting. The game continues with Liverpool pressing. Looking for a goal. PSG get a goal just before halftime. We're going at halftime 1-1, 3-1 on aggregate. We come out for the second half. We push for a second goal. And PSG just hit us on the counter-attack with 2 late goals. And they kill the game off. Alternatively, PSG could absolutely just wipe the floor with us. One of them two scenarios. Either way, I do think we score against them tomorrow. But I'm not saying we're going to go through. I just don't think we will. Wine for my men for tomorrow. We may or may not be defeating the mighty Parisians. I'm just not that confident, but the 12th man will be a major factor. Could possibly be, if we make it a very hostile and very awkward atmosphere for PSG, that could put everything in our favour and may benefit us. But PSG are just so much better than us in all areas right now that it's kind of difficult to see how we manage to topple this mighty giant. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. Don't get me wrong. Not impossible by the slightest. And if any club is going to do it, if any club whatsoever is going to do it, it's going to be Liverpool. It's going to be Liverpool. But I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. They've got too many good players. Too many good players. Hakimi's outstanding. Nuno Mendes is incredible. João Neves in the midfield alongside Vitinha is just too good. And then Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Barcola. It's just insane. The level of riches they have is just insane. Match that with an incredible manager who actually has a brain, and you've got an incredible combination. But we shall see tomorrow. We shall see tomorrow. We shall see. Anyway, Doué is good, bro. Yeah, I know he is. He's fantastic. He's brilliant. Like he's incredible. Anyway, we're gonna wrap things up. Thank you all so much for watching and for listening. Do me a massive favor, people. Slap a like on the video if you haven't already, and subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. Thank you, each and every single one of you, for joining me today. Thank you for getting involved in the chat. Thank you for the love and support on the channel. It always is greatly appreciated from you all. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Good show, Fletch. No, thank you guys. Like I say, you guys make the show as much as me just rambling and talking absolute nonsense for just under 2 hours. So cannot thank you guys enough. You guys are absolutely awesome. Like I say, smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and for listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks live stream, and I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Big up Liverpool for tomorrow. Fingers crossed for something special. We shall see. I'm out of here. Take care.